Hello! You're watching movie Snapshot scenes, and this is the summary of Rocky, 1976. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. In the gritty streets of 1970s Philadelphia, where dreams often go to die, a man named Rocky Balboa walks a lonely path. He's a small-time boxer with big fists but no real future, fighting in dingy clubs for scraps of cash. By day, he breaks thumbs for a loan shark. By night, he trains in rundown gyms that smell of sweat and desperation. People know his name, but only as a fading echo. A man who once had potential, now lost in the alleys of forgotten ambition. Rocky lives alone in a cramped apartment. His only companions a pair of turtles and a goldfish. He talks to them like old friends. He's got a soft heart hidden beneath layers of muscle and missed opportunities. He's rough around the edges, but there's a strange warmth in him. Something raw, something real. He's the kind of man who carries his pain quietly and offers kindness when no one's looking. At the local pet store, Rocky tries to charm a shy, introverted woman named Adrian. She's the sister of his hot-headed friend Paulie, and she barely speaks above a whisper. But Rocky sees something in her, something delicate, something beautiful. He's patient with her, gentle in a way no one expects from a fighter. Their connection begins in quiet moments, soft words, and shared silences. Meanwhile, across the city, the reigning heavyweight champion of the world, Apollo Creed, is preparing for a New Year's title bout. But his scheduled opponent pulls out due to injury. Creed, charismatic, brilliant, and always thinking like a showman, hatches a wild idea. Give an unknown a shot, an underdog, a nobody. The American dream made flesh. He flips through a list of local fighters and stops at one. Name Rocky Balboa, the Italian stallion. It sounds poetic, marketable, perfect. And just like that, Rocky's world is turned upside down. A man who's never been given a real shot suddenly finds himself standing on the edge of destiny. But he doesn't see it as glory. He doesn't even think he can win. All he wants is to go the distance, to prove, for once in his life, that he's not just another bum from the neighborhood. News travels fast, but in Rocky's neighborhood, it spreads like fire. One moment, he's just another face in the crowd. The next, he's the guy who's going to fight Apollo Creed. At first, Rocky thinks it's a mistake, a prank. Why would the heavyweight champion of the world want to fight him? A nobody from Philly with no title, no trainer, no future. But it's no joke. Apollo Creed wants a spectacle, a symbol of opportunity, a patriotic underdog story. Rocky's Italian roots, his rough charm, and his underdog status make him the perfect fit. To Apollo, it's just a publicity stunt. He doesn't see Rocky as a threat, just a name on a poster. But for Rocky, this is everything. He visits the office of Mickey Goldmill, a crusty, no-nonsense boxing trainer who owns the local gym. Mickey's been around forever, seen talent come and go, and for years he's watched Rocky waste his potential. Now, with a golden opportunity in front of him, Mickey wants in. At first, Rocky is bitter. Why now, when everyone ignored him before? But in Mickey, Rocky sees something familiar, another forgotten soul hoping for one last shot. Reluctantly, Rocky accepts him as his trainer. Training begins in earnest, and it's brutal. Rocky runs through the frozen streets at dawn, his breath fogging in the cold. He punches sides of beef in Paulie's meat locker, blooding his knuckles with each blow. He jumps rope, does push-ups, pounds the speed bag with growing rhythm. Slowly, the city starts to believe. Whispers turn into cheers. People start looking at Rocky differently. Meanwhile, his bond with Adrian deepens. They're both shy in their own ways, damaged by life. But together they find comfort. Rocky encourages her, tells her she's beautiful, strong. Adrian opens up, begins to bloom. They're two misfits who somehow make sense together. As the fight draws near, pressure mounts. The media hounds him, reporters mock him, even his own doubts claw at him in the night. But Rocky isn't training to beat Apollo. He knows the odds. What he's fighting for is respect. For once in his life, he wants to stand in that ring, toe-to-toe with the best, and still be standing when the final bell rings. Philadelphia wakes before the sun now, at least in Rocky's world. Every morning, he ties his worn-down sneakers, pulls on his grey sweats, and pounds the pavement. The streets are quiet, but his footsteps echo with purpose. This isn't just training, it's transformation. Rocky runs past shuttered shops, over train tracks, up endless steps, pushing himself harder each day. Sweat pours down his face, his body aches, but he doesn't stop. Because this fight isn't just about Apollo, Creed anymore. It's about proving something to himself, that he matters, that he can rise above the low expectations the world has always set for him. Mickey is relentless. Gruff, grumpy, but wise. He pushes Rocky to his limits, screaming in his ear, slamming doors, demanding more. They clash often. Two stubborn men, with scars on their souls. But beneath the shouting, there's something powerful growing. Trust. Mickey isn't just training Rocky's body, he's forging his spirit. He teaches Rocky to fight smarter, move faster, take hits without folding. "You're gonna eat lightning and crap thunder," he growls. Meanwhile, Rocky and Adrian continue to grow closer. In his arms, she finds a strength she didn't know she had. Her stammer softens, her posture straightens, and for the first time, she starts to believe in herself. Their love is quiet but fierce. Rocky doesn't see her as a shy pet store clerk, he sees her heart, and she sees his. Paulie, however, isn't handling the change well. Jealous and frustrated, he lashes out at both of them. He wants the fame, the recognition, but knows he's not the one earning it. His anger boils over in an explosive confrontation, but Rocky holds his ground, refusing to let anyone shake his focus. As the days tick down, Rocky's confidence starts to build. He's in the best shape of his life. The city watches in awe as this unknown brawler becomes a true contender. The training montage peaks with a now iconic moment. Rocky sprinting up the steps of the Philadelphia Museum of Art, raising his fists to the sky. He's not just climbing stairs, he's rising above everything that ever held him back. For the first time, Rocky sees a glimpse of what could be. Not victory, not fame, but dignity, self-worth. A moment that no one, not Apollo, not the crowd, not even fate, can take from him. The city buzzes with anticipation. Posters of Apollo Creed and Rocky Balboa hang in every gym, every bar, every street corner. The world sees a spectacle, a guaranteed win for the champion. But in Rocky's world, it's something much more intimate, much heavier. It's the final countdown to a storm that's been building for years. The days leading up to the fight are surreal. Rocky walks through crowds that cheer his name, but inside, he's quiet, reflective. He's come so far, from back alley fights and broken dreams to standing just days away from the biggest boxing event in the country. But fame doesn't interest him. He doesn't want to be a celebrity, he just wants to matter. One night, as he walks alone through the empty arena, he sees the giant banner of himself hanging across from Apollo's. It's supposed to be inspiring, but something feels off. The colors are wrong. They didn't even get his shorts right. To the organizers, he's still just a novelty act, an afterthought, a warm-up for the champ. That moment hits him hard. The weight of it all finally lands. He goes home and confesses to Adrian, his voice heavy with truth. "I can't beat him," he says, barely above a whisper. But what follows isn't defeat, it's clarity. Rocky isn't aiming for the impossible. He doesn't need to win. He needs to endure, to prove to himself and the world that he's more than a stepping stone, that he can take everything Creed throws at him and still be standing when the bell rings. That's his victory. The night before the fight, the tension is unbearable. The stadium is sold out. Reporters crowd every hallway. The spectacle is ready to begin. Apollo Creed arrives like a king, draped in red, white, and blue, brimming with confidence and charisma. He doesn't see a real fight ahead, just another performance. But Rocky? He's different, stoic, focused. Alone in his locker room, Mickey, tapes his hands in silence. Adrian slips in, her eyes full of fear and love. They hold each other tightly, saying everything without a word. When the call comes, Rocky rises. The moment he's waited for is here. The crowd roars, the lights blaze, the music blasts. But Rocky hears none of it. His mind is clear. His heart is steady. He's not walking into a fight. He's walking into a war. The bell rings, and the war begins. From the very first punch, it's clear. Apollo Creed is faster, sharper, and every bit the showman the world believes him to be. He dances around Rocky, jabbing with precision, flashing his signature smile. The crowd cheers, confident this will be quick, but Rocky doesn't fall. Instead, he does something no one expects. He hits back, hard. With one thunderous left hook, he sends the champion to the canvas. Gasps ripple through the arena. Creed rises, more surprised than hurt, but suddenly, this isn't a show anymore. It's a fight. What follows is brutal. Round after round, they trade blows. Apollo dominates with speed and technique, but Rocky absorbs the punishment like stone, pushing forward, never backing down. His face swells, his ribs bruise, but he keeps swinging. Each round becomes a testament to his will. He's not just there to survive, he's there to fight. Between rounds, Mickey does his best to keep Rocky together. Ice packs, Vaseline, advice barked like gunfire. But there's only so much anyone can do. Rocky's right eye begins to close. Blood drips from his brow. His breathing grows ragged. Still, he gets up. Apollo, for the first time in his career, begins to feel something he's never known in the ring. Doubt. No matter how many punches he lands, Rocky keeps coming. It's like trying to stop a train with your fists. The crowd senses it too. The underdog isn't fading. He's rising. In Rocky's corner, the pain is unbearable, but his resolve is unshaken. He doesn't speak much. He doesn't need to. His eyes say everything. I'm not done. By the middle rounds, it's no longer about titles or pride. It's personal. Creed throws everything he has, but Rocky keeps answering, keeps pressing forward, like it's the only thing he was ever meant to do. The two men become locked in a kind of violent respect. They may have nothing in common outside the ring, but inside, they speak the same brutal language. Pain, endurance, heart. As round 14 ends, both men are battered and broken, their corners frantic, the arena in chaos. But Rocky stands, barely. And, as the final round approaches, one thing is clear to everyone watching. This isn't just a fight anymore. This is legend in the making. The bell for the 15th and final round echoes like a war drum. Both fighters rise from their corners like ghosts, bruised, battered, barely holding on. Apollo's right side is swollen, his ribs aching with every breath. Rocky's left eye is nearly shut, his face a mess of blood and sweat. They stumble forward, not because they're strong, but because they refuse to quit. Every punch now is thrown from the soul. There's no finesse left, no strategy. Just two men pouring out everything they have. Creed lands a vicious uppercut, snapping Rocky's head back. The crowd winces, but Rocky doesn't go down. He clenches his fists tighter and pushes forward, answering with a hook to the body, then another, and another. They lean on each other like dying gladiators, exchanging blows that echo through the arena. Neither man gives an inch. The crowd, once cheering for a spectacle, is now silent, spellbound. They're witnessing something greater than boxing. This is raw human spirit, exposed and burning. In Rocky's corner, Mickey shouts, begging him to guard his face. But Rocky has no room for caution. He's fighting with his heart now, with the weight of every moment he was told he was a nobody. And then, Apollo stumbles. For the first time, he looks unsure. Not just physically, but in his eyes. This wasn't supposed to happen. He was supposed to walk through this man. But Rocky didn't read the script. Rocky rewrote it. The final seconds tick away, each heartbeat louder than the last. Rocky digs deep, unleashing one last furious combination, driving Creed into the ropes. The champion barely holds his footing, swinging blindly to keep Rocky off. him. The bell rings. They collapse into each other's arms, more out of exhaustion than respect. But in that moment, it's both. The fight is over. The ring becomes chaos. Trainers flood in, cameras flash, announcers shout, but Rocky doesn't care about the result. He doesn't ask who won. He turns, bloodied and gasping, and calls out for one person. Adrian! Adrian! She fights through the crowd, tears streaming down her face. She reaches the ring as the announcer reads the split decision. Apollo Creed has retained his title. It doesn't matter. Rocky isn't listening. Adrian climbs into his arms and holds him close. And for the first time, the man no one believed in hears the one word he's always wanted: to believe in love. The crowd erupts, but Rocky doesn't flinch. He's still calling out for Adrian, not hearing the announcer, not caring about the result. His face is a canvas of pain, swollen, bleeding, exhausted. But his voice cuts through the noise, desperate and raw. Adrian! Adrian! And then she's there. Pushing through reporters and flashing cameras, Adrian finally reaches the ring. Mickey tries to stop her, but nothing could hold her back. She ducks through the ropes, rushes to Rocky's side, and wraps her arms around him. He holds her tightly, burying his face in her shoulder as the world spins around them. I love you, she whispers, tears pouring down her cheeks. I love you, he replies, hoarse and broken, but triumphant. The official decision rings out. Apollo Creed wins by split decision. But the words are background noise. The crowd knows. Apollo knows. Rocky knows. The real victory was already won. He went the distance. No one expected him to last a round. No one thought he could survive. But he stood toe-to-toe with the heavyweight champion of the world for 15 brutal rounds. He didn't fall. He didn't quit. He proved that heart matters more than titles. That will is stronger than talent. That even a nobody from the slums of Philly can rise and shine in the brightest lights. Apollo, bloodied and breathing hard, glances back at Rocky as he's declared the winner. There's no gloating, just respect. Quiet, unspoken, and deep. He knows what Rocky just did. He knows it wasn't about points or belts. It was about pride, about heart. And Rocky had more of it than anyone he's ever faced. As the arena begins to empty and the frenzy fades, Rocky stays in the ring, still holding Adrian. The flashbulbs die down. The noise softens. And in that moment, just a man and a woman in the center of a ring, it becomes clear. This wasn't just a boxing match. It was a story about courage, about rising when the world expects you to fall, about finding love, strength, and meaning in the most unlikely of places. Rocky didn't win the fight, but he won something far more important. He won himself.